November's astrology is intense, but it's purposeful. This month wants to strip away what's fake, stagnant, or fear based so you can move into Sagittarius season feeling lighter, freer, and more aligned. So let's break down how to actually work with this month's energy, not just survive it. Because if you know me, you know I'm not just here to spew information out at you. This is practical astrology, not just what it is, but how to use it. So if you want to know more about how to work with the astrological energy of November, stick around. You definitely don't want to miss this. Hello, my loves. As always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. If you're new around here, hi, hello, and welcome. My name is Mel. I'm a professional astrologer and sound therapist, and I'm the founder of Divine Feminine Works, where I help people unlock their divinity and discover their magic. So if you're new, welcome. And as always, if you are returning, welcome back. So this is my third video in my November 2025 monthly astro forecast series. So in the first video, we talked about the themes for the month. In the second video, we talked about the actual astrology for the month. And in this video, we're going to talk about how to work with the energy of the month. So without further ado, let's jump right in. All right. So number one, during Scorpio season, you're going to want to purge, feel whatever comes up, and reclaim your power. Okay. So this is really relevant between November 1st and November 21st, because this is when the sun is still going to be in the sign of Scorpio. So Scorpio energy isn't about surface level healing, it's literally about alchemy at its deepest level. You'll probably feel a pull to confront emotional truths, power imbalances, and anything else you've been avoiding. Okay, so if you really want to take advantage of this energy and work with it, I would suggest first journaling. And the question that you'll sort of want to meditate on is, what am I still holding on to out of fear? Sit with that and really try to understand that. That is literally, I know me personally, that was literally where a lot of my problems stemmed from because I was either holding on to things out of fear or acting from a place of fear. And when I understood what I was actually afraid of and faced it head on, that's when I was able to make actual change and experience transformation in my life. So again, the journal prompt is, what am I still holding on to out of fear? Now, in terms of like actual rituals that you can do some cleansing baths. You can do some cord cutting if you are called to do so, or perhaps some sound healing focused on emotional release. And especially right before the new moon in Scorpio later in the month, you'll want to engage in that. You'll want to create that void. And I talk about that in my themes video, which is the first video in this series, creating the void by releasing so that you actually have the energetic space to renew, and some sound healing, especially before that new moon in Scorpio, is actually going to be perfect for that, right? The other thing that you're going to want to do is set some boundaries. And for this, you're going to want to pull your energy back from people or projects that drain you. I think that's pretty self explanatory. Now, in terms of money and love, which are some important sort of topics that are going to be intensified this month, examine your relationship with control generally. Okay. Do you trust flow or cling to safety? Now, control is not always about manipulation. Control can literally be the result of fear, not trusting the process, not trusting the universe, sometimes not even trusting yourself. And so when we lack that trust, we want to micromanage everything. We want to control everything. So examine your relationship with control and how it directly impacts your money and your relationships. And again, ask yourself, do you trust flow or are you afraid and do you cling to safety? All right. So, yeah, that's definitely a major theme, particularly while the sun is still in Scorpio. So here's what to avoid, okay? Avoid forcing transformation or emotionally manipulating outcomes, okay? Here's the thing with transformation. It is great to want to intentionally engage in it, right? Like, I really want to make a change in my life. It's very much that, like, January 1st, new year, new me, wanting to transform something in your life. However, especially during Scorpio season when all of this should actually happen, you don't want to do it from a place of manipulation, or you don't want to be, manipulating outcomes in the name of transformation. You really need to let the purge unfold naturally. Okay. And whatever may come with it unfolding naturally, you want to lean into that. Okay. So definitely word to the wise. Number two, during Mercury retrograde, review your beliefs, then go deeper. So this is really important around November 9th through November 29th, particularly when Mercury is retrograde between Sagittarius and Scorpio. Okay. So this retrograde is a double layered truth check. Okay. In Sagittarius, it challenges your mindset and belief systems. And in Scorpio, it dives into your emotional and psychological motivations. Okay. So this is very mental because Mercury is the mental planet, but it's simultaneously having you check your beliefs while also getting you into your emotional bag. All right, that's pretty much the best way that I can describe it. So, here's how to best work with this Mercury retrograde energy. First, rethink what you know. Okay. Whatever assumptions or narratives you have they limited your potential, right? Because sometimes what we know or what we think we know are stories, beliefs, assumptions, or narratives that actually serve to limit us. Everything about Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius wants to expand us as opposed to limiting us. So, clinging to what you know may actually be limiting you as opposed to expanding you. And Mercury retrograde is going to bring that front and center. Next, practice presence. Meditation and mindful speech are key. Think before you speak. I think that's pretty much self explanatory. Revisit past conversations. Mercury retrograde is always great for this. Closure and understanding can finally land now. Things can finally come full circle. You can understand why someone did what they did, said what they said, etc. So don't be afraid to open the door. Okay. This becomes very relevant depending on wherever Sagittarius or even Scorpio are in your natal chart because it may signify what or who is coming back around. And one of the things I cannot stand the most, and this is very much a personal preference, and you're free to feel however you want to, but once we move past something, society and oftentimes people make you demonize it, right? That's like someone who used to drink all the time, and now that they don't drink, they kind of look their nose down on people that do. Or you dated someone, and now that they're your ex, now they're like the worst person in the world. And when you see them, you've got to cross the street. Past situations, past people in our lives are teachers. I'm not saying that you gotta kiss their ass, I'm not saying that you gotta be friends with them, but demonizing them, that is like the fast track to not evolving, okay? And sometimes things come back up to teach you. Now, Mercury retrograde is not that your ex is coming back. It could be, but it's not. It could be a friend coming back, a job coming back, an offer coming back. It could be a variety of things, depending on wherever Mercury retrograde is happening in your natal chart, right? But if a conversation from the past comes back, don't shy away from it. Mercury retrograde wants to show you something, teach you something, or finally give you some closure. Those are good things. Lean into that if they come back up. Don't be so narrow minded and close minded that, oh, if something comes back up, oh, that's beneath me now. Girl, get over yourself. It could really be teaching you something, or maybe even showing you how much you've grown. Lean into it. I promise you, it's not as bad as you think it is. And finally, when it comes to Mercury retrograde, stay flexible. Miscommunication is at an all time high, okay? And as controversial as this may sound, assume that people generally mean well, not harm. Most people are just trying to get their own shit together. There evil people out there? Yes, of course. But honestly speaking, I think most people are just trying to do the best they can with what they have at the time. Most people aren't so concerned about ruining your life as you think they are. So miscommunication is always ramped up during Mercury retrograde. So again, assume people mean well and they're not just out here to ruin your life. Okay? We tend to be dramatic with that. I don't think we need to do that. Now, here's what to avoid with Mercury retrograde. Over explaining, oversharing, or reacting defensively when you feel misunderstood. Okay? Like, it's really not that serious. If you're being misunderstood, the world isn't ending. It's just a call for further clarification. Okay? Number three, at the full moon in Taurus, release attachment to comfort. Now, this is going to be particularly relevant around November 5th because that is when we're going to have that full moon in Taurus. All right. So, this full moon exposes where stability has turned into stagnation. The key lesson here is that comfort isn't the same as peace. I'm going to repeat that again. Comfort is not the same as peace. You could be comfortable in chaos, you can be comfortable in dysfunction. That's not peace. That's actually the opposite of peace. Okay. Essentially, this full moon is going to shed light on where you've been stagnant and where you perhaps need a reset or a redo when it comes to peace, stability, and security. Okay. So here's how to work with the energy. Do a gratitude check, number one. Celebrate what's stable and abundant. So apart from showing you perhaps where you've been comfortable in chaos, this full moon is also going to show you what's working, where your abundance is, what you have, and what to be appreciative of. So lean into that and be grateful for those things. It's also a great time to do some release rituals. All right. So declutter, donate, or energetically clear your space. And what's so interesting is that I love how, particularly with the platform threads, it's always to me, the algorithm there seems really tapped into what's going on. Like, in the last 2 days, I've seen about 4 different posts that's talking about going through your closet and getting rid of clothes that remind you of an era that you're no longer in or don't fit or just are not stylish anymore, don't fit into your aesthetic. It clears the energetic space, and that's super important and is a great sort of activity to do around that full moon in Taurus. Additionally, there's very much an emphasis on our bodies during, well, with Taurus energy generally, but specifically during this full moon. Taurus rules the senses, right? The five senses. So around this full moon, eat grounding foods, move your body, and rest. So there's definitely a physical component to this full moon that you definitely want to acknowledge at this time. All right, at that time, I should say. Here's what to avoid with this full moon in Taurus: spending money or energy impulsively to soothe emotional discomfort. It's not the time for retail therapy, it's not the time for emotional eating. Try your best to curb those things because, again, this full moon is showing you where you perhaps are unstable or where you're not experiencing peace. And if you just emotionally eat or impulsively spend, you're kind of just feeding that fire that you're actually trying to put out. All right. Just word to the wise. Number four, at the new moon in Scorpio, plant intentions for regeneration. That's going to be particularly relevant around November 20th because that's when we're going to be having that new moon in Scorpio. Okay. So think of this new moon as your energetic rebirth. It's about taking the lessons of the past few months and choosing a new emotional baseline. Okay. So here's how to work with the energy. First, set intentions around transformation, empowerment, and even intimacy. Okay, we all know how Scorpio rolls. Wherever Scorpio is in your natal chart, this is where you can experience transformation, empowerment, and intimacy. So plant seeds of those things. Next, consider the following journal prompt: what version of me am I ready to release, and who am I becoming? Now, that's a very loaded prompt. So, you're really going to want to spend some time with that around the new moon. Like, block off some time, clear distractions, limit distractions, and really think about what part of you do you want to let go and who do you want to become. Now, in terms of rituals that you can engage in around that new moon in Scorpio, sound therapy, candle magic, or shadow work, particularly journaling, would be really good. Now, here's what to avoid during that new moon in Scorpio: half hearted commitment. Scorpio demands full presence. So anything that you're doing half heartedly, just don't even do it, right? Unless you're willing to really commit, to merge, to transform on the most profound level, just disengage. It'll be the best thing for you. Number 5, as Sagittarius season begins, move with faith and not force. Now, this is going to be beginning November 22nd and going into December, right? After weeks of introspection, Sagittarius season reignites your fire. So now it's going to be time to rebuild, dream big, and trust your intuition to guide your action. Sagittarius is really a sign of faith, and our intuition has so much to do with our faith. And that is how we're going to successfully move forward. So here's how to work with that energy. First, expand your vision. Revisit your goals for 2025. What still resonates, what doesn't, especially as we prepare to move into 2026. What worked, what didn't. Move forward and double down on what did work. Next, take inspired action. Mars and Venus will be in Sagittarius going into December, and they both love a bold leap of faith. So be willing to be bold, be willing to be even a little spontaneous, and take faith on what you are inspired to do. And then finally, express gratitude. End the month with a symbolic release, a gratitude list, an offering, or a celebration ritual. Okay, we want to start December off strong. And so gratitude is the best way to do that. So here's what to avoid during Sagittarius season. Number 1, escapism. Number 2, overpromising. Number 3, spiritual bypassing. Stay grounded in your truth as you reach higher. And I think that's a great way to not only end the month, but to start off December strong. All right, my loves, that's pretty much all I've got for you, not only for this video about how to work with the energy of November, but for this series on the astrology for November 2025. All right, so to recap, to work with November's energy, think of it as a sacred detox before expansion. Release control, reclaim your power, and reignite your faith. So by the time we hit Sagittarius season, the emotional clutter is gone and the vision becomes hopefully crystal clear, right? Now, maybe you want a little more. Maybe you want to know what to anticipate for your particular rising sign this November. You'll want to join me over in Cosmic Collective, where I'll break down all of the energy for each rising sign so you can see exactly where this transformation is showing up in your particular chart. All right, if you're interested, Cosmic Collective is my online private community. It's $11 a month. You get exclusive content, a great community, and a lot of extra freebies and bonuses. So if you're interested, you can either take a picture of this QR code on the screen, or you can check out the link in the description box below. All right, my loves, but either way, if this is where you drop off, thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you nothing but the absolute best for November and beyond, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.